Hi there, and welcome back to the latest Going Solo video, this time with a difference. In the previous 4 videos I've been using a PC version of the game, whereas this one I'm streaming it directly from my Xbox, because on my Xbox I decided to try a different world, a bamboo forest. And the reason I chose the bamboo forest is because I wanted to have a play around with scaffolding. But there are a few things that I've learnt using that world, different to what's been found on the PC so far, so at some point I will integrate all the learning together. I have to say though, that having seen some PewDiePie videos, I realised that I am still a massive beginner at this game, and I've therefore felt that the target audience for these videos also ought to be beginners and learners just like myself, because when you see what PewDiePie's been able to achieve in this game, it's awesome, incredible, metaphoric, invisible. Hats off to you, PewDiePie. You are brilliant at this. Okay, let's have a look now. Bamboo forest survival. There may be network issues during this recording, but that is, as I say, because I'm streaming from my Xbox across the internal network within the house. The one thing I have noticed both about the Switch version that Hulkasaurus used and this Xbox version is that they are quite a bit slower than the PC version for loading the game. Okay, let's start off on the outside and I'll explain to you what I've been doing so far. As you can see, there is loads and loads of bamboo around, and bamboo is brilliant in terms of the amount it gives you. If you just cut one branch of the bamboo down, you see it all falling down, and you'll see that I picked up 12 pieces of bamboo from just that one stalk. Oh, hello. Got a zombie. Where did he come from? And he's dressed in gold armour, so you never know, he might have dropped something nice. But no, just the zombie flesh. What I decided I wanted to do for this particular setup was primarily have my base entirely underground, but obviously I needed a surface entrance in order to get to that. So I built this little brick house to basically protect that entrance. And over time I've created a pen, which I at one stage had a couple of pandas in there, hoping that of course they might breed and give me more little pandas, but nah, pandas don't do that sort of thing. So instead I've turned it into my own little private bamboo greenhouse basically. These 3 tall towers are very much to serve the purpose of being markers from a distance, so that when I do go wandering off, I'll be able to look and see these things. Each of them has a torch on top, which you can't see right now. So let's go inside this building and have a look at what I've done so far. Close the door to stop the zombies wandering in. I've set up a little base with an internal garden, because yes, you can grow things indoors. I've used a couple of torches to give them the light, and obviously some soil blocks to give them the material to grow in. And you can see it's pretty successful. Nice bed with a bit of carpet next to it. In this particular world, I've actually finally been able to build myself an anvil for repairing items. I just need to make sure I've got enough experience and the raw materials to do it. A normal furnace, a crate for metals, ores and weapons, and on the opposite side, a crate for horticulture and animal bits. Now horticulture I'm using as a broad term for plants, wooden blocks, basically anything you grow. Crafting table, a blast furnace, because I have found more iron ore in this game than in some of the other ones, and again stones, minerals, coals, with a cartographer's table. So you can see I've been digging out a huge underground cavern here. And what I discovered the other day was how to make concrete. Now, you need to make your concrete powder, and that is 3 gravel, 3 sand and a dye, and that will give you 8 blocks of concrete powder. You then drop your block into water and it turns it into concrete. So I've made myself a little concrete manufactory where when I've made my powder, I'm just going to drop them all into this water, and you can use a stone or an iron pickaxe to break the blocks and put them back into your inventory. The only slight downside with creating this underwater fountain under a river lake is that, as you saw, zombies tend to float down with them. So the reason for this fence is, again, as you saw, to make sure that if a zombie does float down, it can't go wandering off and catch me unawares. But it's a nice little water feature with a specific purpose of making concrete. I've now been able to make some scaffolding, and the recipe for that is bamboo and spider webs. And scaffolding is brilliant because you can basically stack it one on top of each other and you can climb on, and as you can see from the bottom left, hold B to descend, so down we go. So I decided I would use the scaffolding to go deep into the mines and to get down to bedrock and see what was down there. So I stopped off at this first level, and I've decided that each level I will have a crafting table, furnace and a chest to store some materials. So you can see it's basically got a bit of stone in there. And again, it's been dug out. Now, originally up here, the sign said spider nest above, because when I broke through up there were a couple of cubes that looked like furnaces, but they were actually generating lots of poisonous spiders. So eventually I had to smash them to get rid of the spiders. But what I discovered when I'd cleared the cobwebs and cleared the spiders out was I'd actually found a mine with some tracks, a mine cart with a chest in it, and as you can see there's various little things like beetroot seeds and a detector rail. That bit down there I basically just dug out some walls, but I've left it down there. And this mine, yeah, it was set up with a bend in the track that went into a brick wall, and I'm not quite sure why it did that. But this mine actually goes off in quite a lot of different directions, and including a lava pit. Now, I've also discovered that water on lava makes obsidian, so I've got to try and find a way of getting that water to fall onto the lava to make the obsidian. I've had one attempt elsewhere in the mine without a great deal of success, but that's something I'm going to come back and have another play with. I'm not going to go wandering off at this stage because I do get lost in this mine, but it was in a way a nice surprise to actually find this mine under here. You can see I get a bit more scaffolding, so this time you press A to ascend, and I built this so that I could again cut out some ore from there, but that scaffolding might go soon. But before I discovered that, I was continuing to do some more deep mining, and you can see deeper mine, coal and lapis-lazuli. And I did actually find a vein of lapis-lazuli and took a number of gems from it, but that's the only vein of lapis-lazuli I found. So I'm using it sparingly to create blue concrete, which again I'll come back to later. So further down I went, and this time I go really, really deep, and we've hit bedrock. Now down here I did find some redstone ore. I need to go up because that seems to have dropped down. I found some redstone ore, and I did find some gold ore. The redstone ore doesn't seem to drop very much at all, but what I found with bedrock, obviously it's very uneven, so my plan is with this bedrock area is I'm going to dig out anything useful like stone, gravel, granite, andesite, diorite, and then once I've done that I'm going to fill it in with dirt blocks so that eventually this floor will be leveled out and it'll be on one level. But there's still quite a bit of stone mining to do here. Now, as you can also see at this end, I put some scaffolding in. I actually put this scaffolding in from a a different area and discovered that the two would eventually link up if I excavated them properly. So that's why there is some scaffolding there at the opposite end of the bedrock cavern, because as you can see, I'm back up here, down to bedrock cavern, up his home. So I've now found two ways down to the bedrock cavern, which as I say, I will eventually dig out and flatten. Back up we go. And that was the original deeper coal mine and lapis lazuli. So it may well be that at some point I'll just completely excavate that and make it one massive big cavern and turn it into an underground playground, and possibly build some houses down there and some leisure areas. One more thing, just look up here. I built this ladder so that when we went up to the surface, again, there's a door here, and you can see that we've got the lake, and just round there is my house, which you can see the lanterns on top. Oh, not the lanterns, the torches. So that's the geography of it all at the moment. It was night time outside, so it's time to sleep and get it through to daytime so I can show you what else I've been doing. Okay, now it's back to daylight. Now, as I said, I managed to find and make some blue concrete blocks, which I've done here, and I thought it would be quite nice to make a Sonic the Hedgehog themed house. And this is the start of the construction of a Sonic house with my blue concrete representing Sonic's blue face, and I'm either going to use sandstone or some other light material to represent his mouth and his eyes. But I think I need to design that using a bit of graph paper so that I can know exactly where to place the blocks. But that is the purpose of the blue blocks and what I'm going to do with them. Now that llama just kicked me, didn't it? So, sorry mate, down you go. I quite like llamas, but not when they actually start spitting and kicking at me. Now, you see, there's a sign here that says to the big mine. And again, I went off exploring, built a bridge over the water because, as I mentioned in a previous video, it stops the drown from getting at me. And again, discovered two routes down to the mine using scaffolding. And just bear in mind what I said a few moments ago, that this mine actually connects up to what I thought was a spider cavern underneath my house. So in time, I am gradually excavating quite a lot underground. So this just feels to me that it could end up being like a bit like Undermountain or a dwarven kingdom, like you often see in so many fantasy novels. Again, there's a minecart here with lots of railway tracks in that, and I've still to decide what I'm going to do with those tracks. PewDiePie's videos have given me a few ideas, but at this stage I'm not going to use them up and waste them. And I think if I go over there, it leads me to a bigger cavern where there's the water and the lava flow, where I can play around with making the obsidian. But already I feel I'm beginning to lose my bearings. So let's see if I can go back and find out where that scaffolding is. That seems to be an underwater plot for garden. Ah, here's the water and the lava. I think I've got to find some way of dropping that water onto the lava, because if the lava hits the water, it just turns into cobblestone. I don't want cobblestone, I want obsidian. So I'm going to look and play around with, probably off camera, a means of diverting that water to land on top of the lava. But we'll see about that. So back we come. You can see the map here isn't really much use at all, because the map is telling me what's on the surface, and it's not on the surface that matters right now. So go on back here and have a look. Here we go. So we just use the scaffolding to go back up. Also, I think it was round that corner. There's another pit that is where the other area of scaffolding comes from, in the lake. But yeah, we'll head back up to the surface. And I will take you back home now. So that's where I'm at so far with my bamboo world on the Xbox One. It's been useful doing two different worlds, in Forest Glade on the PC and this one on the Xbox, because I've actually started to learn quite a lot of different things based on the different resources that's available. I'd ideally love to be able to actually transfer the bamboo from this world to my PC world, but I'm guessing there's not a great deal of opportunities or methods for doing that. So back we go. Just make sure there's no zombie there, and we will say bye bye for now and catch you again with another video soon.